Welcome to Dive Diaries, the place where every story reveals the strength of the human spirit and the beauty of unseen dreams. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, because every week we bring you real and reflective stories that touch hearts and inspire change. The clockmaker's promise. In the quiet corner of an old bazaar stood a small shop that very few people noticed. Its faded wooden board read, "Time repaired here, by Rahman the clockmaker." Inside, the walls were lined with hundreds of clocks, some grand, some tiny, some broken beyond repair. But what made the shop magical wasn't the ticking. It was the silence between the ticks. Ramon, an old man with trembling hands and kind eyes, sat at his bench every day, mending clocks that others had thrown away. He had been fixing time for 50 years. Patay Maden, been kind to him. His wife had passed away decades ago, and his only son, Adil, had left the village to find success. Letters came rarely, and when they did, they only spoke of struggle, jobs lost, cities changed, dreams fading. Yet, every evening at sunset, Rahman wound a particular clock on his wall, a golden one, and whispered, "One day, my son will return. Until then, this clock will keep our promise alive." The broken clock one stormy night, as rain lashed the street, a young boy stumbled into Rahman's shop. His clothes were soaked, his hands trembling, clutching a small broken wristwatch. "Please," the boy said, "this watch, it belonged to my father. Can you fix it?" Rahman smiled gently. "Of course. Son, sit down." He took the watch, examined it under his magnifying glass, and nodded. "It's old, but not impossible. Give me a day." The boy looked around, mesmerized by the hundreds of clocks ticking in unison. "Why do you fix so many?" Rahman chuckled softly. "Because every broken clock has a story. And fixing time sometimes fixes people too." The next morning, when the boy returned, his watch was shining and ticking again. He handed Rahman a few coins. Rahman pushed them back. "Keep it," he said. "Your love for your father has already paid me enough." The boy smiled shyly, then whispered, "You remind me of my grandfather." Rahman's eyes softened. "And you remind me of someone I once knew." The stranger in the night. Weeks passed. The boy began visiting often, bringing tea and biscuits. They talked about life, about dreams, about time, how it heals, and how it tests. But one night, a stranger came to the shop just before closing. A man in his late 30s, with tired eyes and a suitcase in hand. He looked around, seeing the hundreds of clocks ticking in rhythm. Then his eyes fell on the golden one. Frosi, this clock," he whispered. "It's still working." Rahman turned slowly, recognizing the voice he hadn't heard in 20 years. "Adil," he said, trembling, "you finally came home." Adil dropped his suitcase, tears filling his eyes. "I failed you, Baba. I couldn't become what you wanted." He kept running, and the more I ran, the more time ran away from me. Rahman smiled gently. "Son, I never wanted success for you. I only wanted you to come back before the clock stopped." The promise fulfilled that night. Father and son sat together, fixing a broken clock, just like they had done years ago when Adil was a child. They didn't talk much. They didn't need to. The sound of ticking filled the silence between them. When dawn arrived, Adalu looked around and said, "Baba, these clocks, why did you keep fixing them all these years?" Rahman replied, "Because people bring their broken time here, and when they leave, they take a little hope back with them." Adil nodded quietly. "Then let me help you fix time too." From that day onward, the shop changed its name. Time restored Rahman and Adil, the clockmakers. Years later, Rahman passed away peacefully at his workbench, surrounded by the ticking of hundreds of clocks. When people asked Adil why he never closed the shop, he said, "Because somewhere out there, someone's time is still waiting to be mended." Life is like a clock, fragile, imperfect, but precious. Some moments break us, others mend us, and a few remind us why we started. Raman's story isn't just about fixing clocks. It's about keeping promises, restoring faith, and believing that even broken time has meaning. Thank you for watching Deep Dive Diaries. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Every story we share is a reminder that time, love, and faith never truly stop. They just wait to be read.